Are we good to go? Dr. Paul Alaje is taking us money mastery. Mastery. Financial education for young investors. Financial education for young investors. And the name of the speaker is Dr. Paul Alaje, right? Okay, Alaje, okay, correct. Are you getting him? Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming, sir, and we are glad to have you. You have the floor, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Let me first say a very, very beautiful morning to everyone. I must thank the organizers of this event. I am sorry I was supposed to be there live, but because of my trip that was extended, I only just got in returned to the country. I'm so, so sorry. I also want to thank you for bringing a lot of great speakers to speak alongside with myself. And there are quite a number of persons I know that will be impacting lives today. And one of them is Dr. Ebo, who was a secondary school mate. That's many years back. I don't know if anybody can hear me. Hello, sir. Am I being heard? Hello, can you hear me, sir?
We can hear you, sir.
Can hear you. We can hear you, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you so much once again. So I want to welcome everybody once again to this Soaring Nation, Soaring Nations Conference, and I'll be speaking on money mastery. Generally speaking, as economists, we say money is medium of exchange, and money is that instrument we have for exchange of value. The question now is, how do you master it? Money answers all things. Without money, there can be many confusion all around. But money in itself is not all things. So I would like to start by saying that why should we have resources? Money in itself should be a resource that we use to get things done. Money should not be an end in itself. It should be a means to an end. So when we talk about money, we are talking about resources. And that should take me down to discussing financial mastery or financial intelligence. And I understand that we are speaking with young investors today. To that extent, I want us to look at it in this regard. Why is it that individuals and families and investors oftentimes don't have money? It is because of a few concepts. One is earning it. How do you earn it? How do you keep it? How do you multiply it? And how do you keep repeating the process without abandoning yourself? So when we talk about money, I will talk about one, how do you earn money? A lot of persons are not in job or they're out of job because they have not been able to provide answers to the following. This is why people don't get job. One, how will you help add value to that employer? How will you help add value to that employer? If you don't know how to add value to employer, you are not going to earn money. Two, how will you help that employer have improved market share? How will you have that employer have improved market share? All organizations want to improve market share. They want to increase in terms of market share. Number three will be, how will you help me save money? How will you help me save money? That's how will you help investors save money? So when you are going to your next employment interviews, answer those questions and let all the things you have summarized in your paper be, I can help you bring more value. I can help you make more money. I can help you have more market share, and I can help you save costs. I can help you save more money. You can now do that in your professional language, from a mechanic to a medical doctor to an economist to a banker. So whatever you're doing, human resource persons want to see people who are providing solutions. So money essentially responds to solution. Money essentially, and I'm talking of good money because there is bad money in economics. I'm not talking of fraud, those that do fraud, those that do yahoo. Those are monies that cannot last. They cannot last generation. Here, remember, we are talking about generational wealth. The next thing, therefore, will be, how do you save money? Now, people don't save money because they spend it all. The question is, how do we save what is not enough? And I've heard this question on most of the conferences I've attended, where people say, we don't earn enough, so how do I save? I tell you what I did when I started my career. The first question I asked myself, because I asked myself a set of questions. Again, if you provide correct answers to questions, you are going to see major solution. So the first is, what is it that if I don't buy, I will die? So in spending, Spend only on the things that if you don't buy, you will die. And please, the audience can answer. It's that most of those things that form your desire that you want to buy, they are really not very necessary. Because at the end of the day, the first thing that you should pay priority to is what is it that if you don't buy, you will die. The next thing is what is it that if you don't buy, you will fall sick. The last one is that what is it that if you don't buy, your performance in the marketplace will reduce. If you answer those 3 to 4 questions very carefully, you'll notice that most of the things that people desire, they are not really. So the method, the formula, which of course many may not necessarily be a formula, but the strategy I've used is to ensure that I invest first before spending. What does that mean? I don't start thinking about investment when I earn. I perpetually think of investment. So when I earn, I now look at, okay, so what are the investment options? We can talk about bonds, of course, which is relatively high because, of course, our monetary policy rate is high. Or you are talking about stocks, or you are talking about properties, that's real estate, or you are talking of different things where you can put money, or general business that you can put your money in. So there are quite a number of other things, but let your investment be clear. Think about it. Once you earn money, there is what we call the Parkinson's rule. It's an economic rule. What does that mean? As your income increases, what you need money to spend on would also increase. You just notice that when you were earning 100K or when you're earning 50K, you all your desire was about 50K, even though maybe a little more. But the moment that money got to 500K, your desire to spend 500K increased suddenly. But when you alter your DNA in terms of financial discipline, or you alter your DNA in terms of spending, to someone who perpetually spend on investment or who spend on assets, you suddenly realize that it becomes your nature. So the question is, on what are you spending your money on? Take a stock of all that you have or your spending pattern in the last 1 month, in the last 2 months, and ask. I was at a conference in May in Abuja, and I asked a question. How many of us have spent up to 1 million this year? That was, remember, January to May. And all the ants in the all went up. Oh, I spent 10, I spent 15. So where is yours? Nobody remember to save. Nobody remember to build a culture of savings. The next one is, how do you then invest it? There are quite a number of investors. I said you have to start thinking about those investments before you save. So where do you invest it? The plan, and I highly recommend mixed investment portfolio. Do not just say you are doing stocks, you are not doing bond, or you are doing real estate. Everything has its own benefits. I do not have time to talk about investment options. I believe that one or two other speakers might actually discuss that with you. So what I would download for you will just be wisdom for money mastery for young professional. That's what I would bother the very few minutes I have to discuss with us. Now, the next one, therefore, will be, if you have invested, is this investment multiplying? And this is where a lot of people have problems. This is where a lot of people have challenges. Oh, I heard that there is one program. They said if we put 5 naira, it's going to return 50 naira to us in 1 week. No, that's fraud. What will they put the money on? What will they invest that money you are giving them? What will they invest it on? So you need to understand where your money is going to. So if somebody tells you that the name of the thing they are doing is MMM, every week they will put the money, you need to ask yourself, how will the money come back? Therefore, my advice to many professionals will be, consider what they are doing. Put some under government control with zero risk, which includes treasury bills, which includes bonds. You can take a bit of risk by buying some stock options. For instance, I would advise you, when FCMB was up, but it's down now. I mean, it's not out now. It's not more on the what do we call it now, public offer anymore. But when you check the rate, I think the last time I checked was around 11 to 12 or 13, thereabout. But when you look at the categorization, you need a professional to guide you. So don't just take this few minutes video to take a decision. Please, you need a professional to guide you, or you need a stockbroker, I beg your pardon, to guide you. So if you look at what WEMA is doing, I tell you, I see a future in FCMB when you look at what WEMA is doing today. So that's it. Then you look at properties. Property is where you must put significant, meaningful amount of your investment. There's a new term, not really new, people call land banking. But if you have somebody who has appetite to wait for long, land banking may not be bad. But if you have somebody who wants to invest in property, you need to know the difference between residential and commercial. For commercial, It is purely complexes, shops, and so on and so forth. And I can tell you that Abuja is not the only place where market is viable. Lagos is viable. Port Harcourt is viable. Kano is viable. Look at near metropolis or the main metropolis, depending on your phone. That is where I think you need to look at really very critically. More to say about property, but that's where you need to put your investment. Now, what is the gestation period? Some you will need to invest for like a year, for like 2 years, for like 3 years. But by all means, factors you need to consider is that what is the inflation of your country? The rebase inflation in Nigeria is showing about 15%, close to 16%. But in the real sense, on rebase one, you will still be talking about 25% inflation. So, but let's go with government official so that I don't cross on people's nerves. You know, politics, my friends that are in politics. So 15 to mean 25. So you ask yourself, is this business able to give me about 25, 26, 30% per annum? If you get that, you are not doing bad, because in 3 to 4 years, you will have full returns. Be careful of something that wants to do miracle money for you overnight. Most of the time, it does not work. So you need to calculate really very carefully and see how this money progresses. So for those that have appetite for putting money in real estate, I advise you, it's not a bad place to put your money. That is where your money will multiply. But in buying real estate, what is most important is location, documentation, and verification. You need to also buy at the right price. So remember, your location really matters. Do not buy where you know that, depending on the time you are willing to wait. So you must get the location very correctly. 2, you must also get documentation very correctly. The strongest documentation you want to have is CFO. There are a number of documents that in lieu of CFO, like governor's consent for those who might be listening to us outside Abuja, or you have RFO, which is relatively strong, but you need to pay for the CFO. So if it's a property you really have long plan for, you need to get your documentation correctly. And please don't joke with verification. Ensure you verify where you want to put your money, because if it disappears, you will lose everything. So, and you know that there is a high level of contention when it comes to property. There are quite a number of other things to do, but sorry, like I mentioned to the management team that invited me, that I would like to leave once it is 11:30. I'm really so very sorry, but I hope that what I've compacted for you in this possible investment windows will really, really be helpful to all of us. Thank you so very much, and God bless you real good. My name is Paul Alaje.